Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Got an exciting match here. Alex Ullman versus Brian Corval. And both these players' playoff hopes are on the line here. Both players at 3-2, so winner makes the playoffs, and the loser goes home.
Yeah, you couldn't really set the table any better. It's just exciting to have a meaningful match on our plate here.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think about the matchup? Alex is running the black-green aristocrats deck that has looked pretty promising, and then we have Brian Corval, who has finally decided to actually draw some playable hands opposed to the match against you.
Well, I kind of think the Boggles, or I'm sorry, the Tron might be in good shape here.
Yeah.
With the flyers and stuff and the quick fireball. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, definitely. I think just a lot of these matchups just look super close on paper, so we actually have to play it out to make any meaningful conclusions. And I think this is a case of that as well.
I think, Alex just wants to get out on the board, put the pressure on, and put those Hawks into chump block mode as soon as possible. While the game goes. If you can't do that, then it's pretty rough. But that's the game plan. You got to get out ahead, and got to put him on the chump block.
Oh yeah, I think Prismatic Strands is a key card from Brian's side. If he can fly over for some chip damage while delaying Alex's attack with Prismatic Strands, he can do the trick that way.
Yeah, that's the math we were looking at. I didn't really understand his deck that well on paper, but when I saw it playing out, we were doing the commentary in your match. It was like, well, he's got to get the pressure, and then he can strands and strands again, and then fireball.
Yeah,
it seems kind of like what he's trying to do, just draw into sort of that sequence.
Oh yeah. So it looks like our players are ready, so let's tune down to the match and see what opening hands we're working with. We have Alex on the play with a reasonable hand. And it looks like Brian also kept his hand. A hand with 0 Tron lands, notably. Oh, Alex throws that one back. Or maybe it just was already a mulligan, and then he needed to decide which card to bottom. I'm not too sure.
Got some pressure there.
Yeah. Brian
has removal, which is good. Notably, a piece of removal that can get these 2-for-1 creatures. So there's not a sacrifice outlet on the table.
Excel removal can do some wonders. It doesn't exactly work how you want against Rancor, though. Rancor is still hitting the bin and thus getting returned.
Rancor is like one of those mythic elements.
Oh, yeah.
Just way above power level there. Picked up Tron land. And we're gonna.
Yeah, that was his draw for the first turn, and then the Kaervek's Torch. I mean, it's not an embarrassing removal spell if you're just gonna shoot a small critter. But it is meant for the end game, I assume.
I'm waiting for my other laptop to come back. The screen's really small. Sorry about that.
Skyfisher plus Astrolabe. That's a lot cheaper than Skyfisher plus Prism. Definitely a nice upgrade to these decks. So
Alex been chipping away at the life total here, but I kind of like where Brian's at right now. The game hasn't gotten too far out of hand.
Yeah. It's not the best trade in the world, trading a blister pod for a Skyfisher here. Wants the Rancor on the Beetle. Makes sense.
Redundant Tron piece.
Yeah, not exactly what Brian wanted here. So is this just where you take the turn off to cast a deep analysis and hope that nothing terrible happens?
That's apparently what's going on. The journey.
Journey is definitely a good draw. When you don't have Tron online, the deck can struggle with doing multiple things each turn, so it can be kind of clunky.
There's a different Tron piece, the power
Yeah.
plant.
So now Journey plus gaining 6 life, maybe? Or yeah, sure. He can also torch if he wants to. Just passing. I think I would have spent my mana killing off a Dryad or something like that turn.
The Rancor just doing a ton of work this game. It doesn't matter what you kill because
Yep.
the thing with the Rancor is the threat.
All creatures are relevant when combined with Rancor.
Look at this. Put the Rancor on the Blister Pod.
So gaining 6 life. Oh, did he cast 2 spells? Oh, he even cast a Winding Way. So gaining 9 life, sure. Here comes a Mulldrifter.
Okay, some nice cards. You
Oh, yeah.
probably through the turn here.
Yeah, because of the 9 life buffer from Weather the Storm, another sweet Modern Horizons addition to Pauper. Winding Way doing what it does best.
Dig. Mulldrifter holding back the 2 Dryads. And
So Alex has 2 mana available. Wolf plus Rancor, I think, is going to be his play. Who knows? Maybe we see the interaction of colorless Eldrazi spawns versus Prismatic Strands this game. We talked about it. During your match against Brian, where you also had some interesting choices with Rancor, if you were concerned about Prismatic Strands.
yeah, I realized that interaction like after I didn't just put lethal on the stack and put another creature instead. I was like, oh, this creature is not green. Prismatic Strands does not stop it.
Yeah. It's definitely relevant. Still no Tron assembled.
Maybe a Skyfisher here.
Yeah. You can even pick up the... you could have picked up the Journey if you wanted to.
I'm just going to get ranched on cards.
But drawing cards is also great.
Okay.
And that 2/3 Kor Skyfisher holds back all of the attacking force. So this is, I guess, where the game spirals out of control in favor of Brian.
Yeah, I mean, look at this cast of cards in his hand. They're all insane.
Yeah.
Again.
And he hasn't even assembled Tron yet.
Slowed.
But yeah, Brian looks to be in great shape. There's the tower.
Yep.
Tron things. I don't have any way to get through. His draw was really good. Mine was mediocre. Oh boy. Okay.
Got five mana left here.
Oh yeah, so replaying the Astrolabe, and then he even has 4 mana for Prism plus Map if he wants to. Goes for Deep Analysis instead.
Another Skyfisher.
So how close is Seeds of...
thing with the Journey? It'd be nice playing next turn to bounce the Journey and take off that take out the Bloodthrone Vampire.
For sure, for sure. Journey is nowhere. Whenever it kills a token, it stays on the battlefield, so you can recur it later. It's pretty nice. So how close is the Torch to being lethal?
See, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. For
Okay,
12 right
so...
now. For 12 right now, 14 when he plays the Urza's Mine. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good, Ryan. Chum block, you don't want to die. And as long as he only has that one big attacker, Brian's in the clear, but he does have some copies of Rancor in that list, so you might want to play it safe with the Journey as you talked about last turn. So he can go return, Journey, get rid of the Vampire, then map for a tower that's mana neutral, and then fire off a torch, and then fire off the second torch next turn. Doesn't look like that's what he's...
You might just be going face to face.
Yeah, the thing is, this is just way overkill, and he's losing to Rancor this way.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think he sees the bounce the Journey.
Yeah,
play.
Makes sense.
Which I didn't see. I didn't see it either, but.
Oh, he could. So it's me sleeping at the wheel here. He had 6 power worth of flyers, so a torch for 14.
14 is lethal. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're so smart. We're overlooking life totals, but.
Oh, we can talk about sideboards.
So the Mesmeric Fiend comes in, and the Falconwrath Nobles, I think that's the name.
That's the 2/2 flying that drain lives whenever a creature dies.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a way to win around stuff like Moment's Peace and Prismatic Strands.
It's also just another threat to overload the removal.
Yeah, definitely. Also very good.
Quite a bit of good removal. Pit Keeper is also, I guess, an option. Just another grindy card.
Yeah, Pit Keepers.
You don't want to go that grind. Maybe you're not really trying to go that late.
Yeah, the thing is that Brian's main way of dealing with creatures is Journey, so you actually need a sacrifice outlet to do shenanigans that way.
And what do you think from Brian?
It looked like he added Standard Bearer to his deck, and I'm not sure I know why.
Okay,
Maybe,
well, they're back on.
Yeah, we're just off to the races, and this starting hand is much better for Brian this time around.
Yeah, that's a great hand. Turn 2 Skyfisher, bounce your bauble.
Yep.
Turn 3, play the bauble and bounce it with another Skyfisher.
Yeah, it's definitely shaking up the Pauper world, that card. Mesmeric Fiend is some good disruption from Alex's side here. I have no idea what he's going to take. Maybe he's just going to take one of the Skyfishers.
What I would take. Can't stop his best turn 2 play, but you could stop his best turn 3 play.
Yeah. That's also a way to do it. That was their third Tron piece. So that...
Two towers.
Oh, it's 2 towers. It's just because it's different art that I assumed it was another one. Right. So no Tron party just yet. As long as you have your land drop, Winding Way is a great way to make sure you just have threats coming. You'll have a hard time unloading all of those cards, though. In the meanwhile, the Tron deck just might...
His best top deck next turn is going to be a land, and you can double Mesmeric Fiend, which is pretty sweet.
Definitely would be a good play. Other Skyfisher. Second Tron piece to threaten the potential of Tron next turn.
Thoughtseize can't beat the top of your deck.
So yeah, he drew a third Skyfisher in the meantime that I didn't pay attention to. So he ended up doing the sequence that you talked about from his opener. Turn 2 Skyfisher, turn 3 Skyfisher. It's pretty awesome.
And Alex is just under a ton of pressure here. He's got a handful. He drew the land.
He did draw the land, yeah. And now he has the best buddies of the Beetle plus Carrion Feeder.
Let's see if he sacks with the trigger on this.
Yeah, he's doing the old trick of responding to the first trigger of Mesmeric Fiend. If you have a sacrifice outlet, you can circumvent the second trigger.
Yeah, they've stopped making cards with that templating, but
yeah,
this is an eternal format, so.
Yeah, I noticed on Kitesail Freebooter a lot in Modern. It's if you kill it in response, they don't get to take a card, I believe. So do you think he's going to proactively sack the wolf now that Brian's not going to block? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just a free point of damage.
Yep. So it was pretty cool to see how even taking out the Astrolabe from Brian's hand in the mid game can be effective. Because now he can't play Prism plus 3-drop.
You can fireball like the Young Wolf. I think he's probably just going to evoke a Mulldrifter and try and draw land to play Prism.
In that case, I like evoking the Mulldrifter before I made my land drop. Could draw into the third Tron piece here. So do you gain 6 life off the bat, or you hope that your opponent double spells? I think the latter is the way to go. It was a similar decision last game.
I think I would just fireball the Mesmeric Fiend for 1 here.
Yeah, that's definitely also a possibility. So here we have same procedure. I wonder if gaining 6 life here is, or you actually want Alex to take the weather.
He's not going to take the weather, so.
Yeah.
You just wait, and then that kind
He
of
did.
Makes it to, but he did take the weather. Okay.
I didn't expect that as well. As long as Brian doesn't have Tron, having to Prismatic Strands just prevents him from doing anything else.
Yeah, he just has no block here.
Yeah, you just take the damage. Take 10 most likely. I assume the boar is getting sacked.
Three, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's not lethal.
No.
Oh, wait, it's not lethal, right?
I believe he can go for 14, right? No, 16. I'm not sure why the Mesmeric Fiend hit the bin there. Mulldrifter does the play, and
Don't block with it.
yeah, was that the missing one? Yeah, it was. So he needs to do some bad. Well,
He's got like, this Vulcan Rat Thurus crit seals it up.
Yeah, that's game. So that was just the Tron deck being on the back foot for the whole game. And yeah, that's where an aggro deck like the Aristocrats deck really shines. Yeah, it just looks like a sweet deck. I can see some awkward things about it. The mana base is not the best in a two color deck that needs its untapped lands, but it definitely has potential. Brian's going to be on the.
Honestly, Brian couldn't have drawn that one up better. Like his start.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be a little bit demoralizing, but sure he'll bounce back. Ooh, he's got natural Tron.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought you were talking about Brian's hand right now because that's also a pretty good one.
No, the one from last game looked great too. The sequencing was real smooth, and he drew the Kor Skyfisher.
Yeah.
After it got dressed away, but kind
but
of stumbled on land drops in the mid game.
Yeah, without Tron Assemble, it's not super unfair what's going on.
Palace Sentinels.
When you're on the play and your opponent spends his turn 2 casting a card draw spell, this might be a game where Palace Sentinels gets to shine.
Oh wow, another Skyfisher.
Yeah, these
another Glint Hawk, sorry.
Yeah, Glint Hawk. These value birds are just very strong. It's card advantage, it's bodies, it's evasive damage, all of which are important in a scenario where Palace Sentinels is trying to take over the game.
He's got Tron next turn too.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to lose the Palace Sentinels now.
All right, that definitely makes it more fair because I don't think he was beating the Palace Sentinels.
Nope, that card would have run away with the game pretty easily, having the mana advantage plus card advantage, and even board advantage.
Like he's still gonna have a bunch of mana and 2 looks with the prisms. So
yeah, definitely still in good shape.
After double cantripping, he can still make a reasonable play. So yeah, cycle that off. Then out the deck with bombs.
Prismatic Strands definitely going to come in handy later unless it bites the dust in the face of Mesmeric Fiend. He already played a land, I assume. This should be turn 4. So you just hang on to the Mulldrifter? Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because it's going to get nabbed by a fiend most likely. That's a great draw.
Yeah. Third lane was a great draw, so now you can double spell I think we're gonna see the same trick again, where the Fiend doesn't stick around. So Alex now knows he needs to battle through double Prismatic Strands.
That is true. So he's going to want to diversify his black creatures.
Yeah. Ideally, he wants. Yeah, that's just a perfect draw. Ideally, those Brindle Shoats should turn into some 3/3s and get to go to town to try and beat the Prismatic Strands.
I think maybe. I think it also would have been an option there to just fireball the Carrion Feeder.
Yeah, before it gets out of hand.
But I think he's just thinking, I'm so close to burning face here.
Yeah, this is great because he knows that Alex doesn't have a lot of answers to flyers, so he can do. Yeah, and he even plays it.
He's got him next turn.
Yeah,
with this line. So.
He even plays it safe with keeping up Prismatic Strands. I like it. So it looks like Tron will be through to the playoffs in the hands of Brian Corval.
Well played too.
Oh yeah,
impressive match today.
Definitely. It was kind of a rough match for him against you in the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to rewatch that one. I felt out of it though.
Yeah, yeah, you
on Mold of Fives both games.
Yeah, exactly.
I just kept pounding with my stuff. It's like, all right, here's a card. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, you definitely did your best to maximize your chances. I would just assume Tron to get out of that situation ahead. Like I don't know, 90% of the time, it just felt like you, stole that one with so low resources. So the Prismatic Strands.
Oh, he's got it. I guess he does have to. Oh, he's just got it. He can't gain enough life with the aristocrat.
No. 8 power in the air, and then a torch to finish Alex off.
Thinking it over. I can't blame him. I would too.
Yeah.
Boom. Down to 3. Fireball for 1 million. Still had all these.
Yeah, he didn't need that fireball this game. The Prismatic Strands was all he needed. And that does it. So yeah, Tron advances in the hand of Brian. We have Alex out of contention. Then we have me out of contention. But we still have a match to play. I'm going to play for my placement in the league because of the prize structure. And you are going to play for a playoff spot.
All right.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, Brian. We'll be back after the break, boys.